The other day I was on my way home from work and I picked up Legend ZA on my way home because it had been a while since it came out. I wanted to play it since it had been teased and I was like, fuck it, just got paid, time for a new video game. So I got it, I brought it home, I played it for about 2 hours on my OLED Switch, and then I realized, damn, this shit kind of runs like ass. And so I went to the store and I was like, hey yo, you know how I just bought that game from you 2 hours ago? Do you have a Switch too? And they were like, yes we do. Would you like it? And I was like, let me finance that. And then I tried to finance it, didn't work. So I was like, fuck it, let me just buy it. Because again, I just got paid. I'm in a good place where I work a lot. My girlfriend works a lot. It's okay. I bought a Switch 2. I brought it home and holy fucking shit. The game runs beautifully. And on that note, Scarlet and Violet run beautifully on the new machine. It genuinely blew my mind how smooth they were. ZA wasn't like terrible. It was just like 30 FPS locked, it felt like. Even that was like completely blown out of the water on the Switch 2. It's like 60 FPS. It's smooth. It's nice. It's beautiful. It kind of feels like they have, you know, motion smoothing or some shit like the shit that your grandparents have on their TV where it looks like weirdly smooth. It's like upscaled or whatever. It kind of looks like that. I noticed in the background a lot things are kind of blurry and it looks a little weird when I'm zipping the camera around. But overall, it looks great and it runs great and it's amazing. That being said, people are not too happy with ZA right now. From what I can tell, it's because the game is made of PNGs. The buildings are PNGs. The doors, the windows, the railings, the balconies, the lights, they're all PNGs. And so, people are like, hey, GameFreak, fuck you. I gave you $70. I might have given you $570 if I bought a Switch 2. Why is this game made of PNGs? What the fuck? What's going on? Why is it dog shit? Now, first of all, I don't think a game is dog shit because it uses flat textures. You know, knowing how Scarlet and Violet ran on the Switch 1, I think that whatever methods they need to use to get this shit running smooth, I'm honestly kind of cool with. Like, just to be honest, I'm not a shill, but I like my games to run smooth. And if this is the cost, then hey, I'll pay it, bro. I'll pay it. And I did pay it. But I will say, you know, a lot of the justification I see for the rage is people are like, ooh, Pokemon is the biggest fucking franchise in the world. They make the most money. They've got billions and billions of dollars. And that's true, but you gotta remember, most of those billions of dollars are not from the video games. They are not. From what it seems on the internet, unfortunately, according to a fucking AI overview, the estimated percentage of income that comes from the video games is about 18 to 20% of the total revenue of Pokemon as a franchise. So it's not peanuts, you know, but it is definitely not the majority of the company's revenue. That comes from lots of fucking merchandise, lots and lots of merchandise. They got plushies, they got games, they got phone cases. Why did I go to phone cases third? Like they don't sell other shit. Blankets, pillows, wallpapers, phones, headphones, whatever. You know, they got all kinds of shit. So all that to say, they're making tons of money and it's not just from the games. So when every time they release a new game, they sell millions and millions of copies, they see it as an absolute win. They made a ton of money. Games sucked. Oh well, we still made billions. And I did say that with a B, even though I laughed. Billions off the game that sucked, i.e. Scarlet and Violet. They still made a ton of fucking money. So why would they care about the quality? However, I think people get this confused with GameFreak and Pokemon. GameFreak is the ones making the games. They are the developers of the games for the most part. They do outsource a little bit, like the Gen 4 remakes. And from what I see, they contract out some of their work, like the 3D modeling and the animation. Sometimes they contract that stuff out. But Game Freak alone has 200 developers. Not 200,000, not 2,000, 212. Actually, 212 developers. That's not very many fucking people. These games are huge. Like, yes, Pokemon is making a ton of fucking money. They can't stop raking it in. But Game Freak is not. Game Freak has 212 employees. They probably make good money. I sure fucking hope they do. But there are only 200 people to make these games. Okay? And for the record, that 212 is as of last year, and or I think it's as of 2024. In 2022, they had 160 employees. Like, the numbers are not there. Like, you think about a fucking Activision game, they've got thousands and thousands and thousands of employees. You think about EA or Ubisoft, same deal. Tons and tons of employees. And those yearly games still kind of suck, at least by those standards. So how can you expect Pokemon to create this ultra-realistic, the shit that everybody claims they want, How can you expect that out of 200 developers? Now, the natural answer would be, well, just fucking hire some more. And I agree with you, and they probably would if they could. But they don't even really own the Pokemon thing. They only own a third of it. They don't have all the rights and all of the permission and all the whatever to run their company the way they want to because they're told what to fucking do by the other half. So, let's all relax a little bit. I think Legend ZA is a pretty solid game. It is not as artsy as Arceus. It is not as, I feel like Arceus was very cozy and very stylized, and I fucking love that game because it was just so unique. This game is not quite like that. The real-time battling is very unique and very enjoyable, but you go kind of anywhere in the map and it all does sort of look the same. You know what I mean? Like, it's not nearly as stylized, which kind of sucks in my opinion, but maybe the Legends series is just unique takes. It's not like these are all going to be, primal times, and that's fine. We just have to see where the Legend series goes. Like, maybe the third one will really distinguish a pattern or a lack of pattern in these games. It's hard to tell with only 2 data points, but I just get kind of upset seeing all of the fucking hate that people send towards Pokemon every year. I don't think that it's unjustified to want a better game, but I think you need to direct your hate a different way. Because GameFreak is doing all they can. They don't have that many people, and you got to remember, they were doing 2D sprites back in the day, and they got fucking amazing at it. Do you remember Black and White? Black and White 2, beautiful games, beautiful, beautiful games. And then they had to switch to 3D. And since they had to switch to 3D, I feel like the hardware has completely outpaced them as a company. They have been struggling to keep up as far as their actual developing skills. And so the games have gotten arguably worse and worse over the years, but I feel like you just have to have a little perspective. They're still a tiny little company as far as the developing side goes, and they're trying to make bigger and bigger games with more and more demands, more and more Pokemon, more and more quality and resolution and all this shit. They don't have the manpower, bro. And if they were given the manpower, give them another 1,000 employees, I'm sure the games would, just like that, on a dime, completely change the level of quality. But that's not the world we live in. In my opinion, Game Freak does care. They do put effort into these games. They do try their best with what they're given, but what they're given is not much, especially considering, earlier, the whole billions and billions of dollars this company makes. This is the highest grossing franchise of all time, however you want to label it. Game Freak doesn't see all that. Like, they don't see that in their wallets, at least. I don't think. Maybe the top few people, but overall, they're understaffed. And while, yes, they are growing, it's not enough to keep up with the pace of the hardware. Picture Black and White. They had mastered their sprites, they had mastered the pixel art, they had mastered that 2.5D kind of thing they had going on, and then all of a sudden, the entire rug was pulled out from the whole fucking company where they're like, oh my god, fuck, now we gotta make 3D. Now we gotta make 3D every fucking year from this point on. Are you kidding me? Now we have completely new technology. We have new standards for the games. All the players, the fan base is bigger than ever every fucking year over year. How can we keep up? The answer is they can't. And that's why the games turn out the way they do, in my opinion. I don't work there. I don't have insider knowledge, but damn, bro, it's not hard to Google. They don't have a lot of fucking employees. And so people are mad that they have been using the same models since X and Y, which is pretty crazy, honestly. I mean, they allegedly outsource the modeling anyway, so you'd think they could outsource every year, but if they don't have the budget, then that's not going to happen. And we don't get the same we don't get newly iterated Pokemon every year the way that we used to in the 2D game. Nobody's redrawing them every year. What can you expect, dude? What can you expect from 200 people? Like, seriously. The scale of the games has exploded. The demands have exploded. But the team is still tiny. Like, can we wrap our heads around that? I don't want to be a shill, and I don't want to just be a fucking sellout for Pokemon, because I think that Pokemon as a company could change a lot. But Game Freak, I think they deserve a little break. I think that they're doing the best they can. They're currently obviously making Generation 10, which I guess they took an extra year for since nothing came out last year. So we just have to hope that we just have to hope that this extra hiring they've been doing in the last couple of years was for Generation 10. We have to hope that they're putting everything they can into it reasonably. And I think that no matter what they do, the community is still going to fucking, lose their minds in a bad way. From where I'm standing, it just seems like we need to shift our focus from hating and pissing on Game Freak to Pokemon as a company. They are responsible. They could make the decision to very simply allocate more resources to Game Freak, but they don't. And so here we all are. Anyways, maybe I am a shill because I literally bought a Switch 2 last week just to play these games at a higher frame rate. Due to the improved performance, I have been loving Scarlet and Violet again. I am playing through Scarlet right now, and I went back to Violet and completed the Pokedex, and I've been sinking a bunch of time into those things. I haven't been making any videos, but I tell you what, it's a damn good time. And even though it sucks, I had to buy this new console just to play old games at a better quality. Like I said earlier, I am lucky enough to be in a position where I could do that without ruining my year. You know, I can work a little extra overtime and it'll make a difference, but I understand not everybody's in that position. So ultimately, I don't really know what the answer is for Pokemon, but I do know that if you're going to hate it, just aim it the right direction, because Game Freak is not the right direction. They're doing the best they can, right? All right. Anyways, all that being said, this has been the Late Night Crunch, and thank you for tuning in. I will catch you next time. See ya. So the other day, I was on my way home. Anyways,